Hey folks, what makes this toy great? We're looking at G1 Slag, a 1985 Dinobot. And I never owned one of these when I was a kid, but I had a friend who had some Dinobots. And I remember going to his house, and these always jumped out at me. Something about them was the shiniest of the shiny, the chromiest of the chromy, like even more so than the original series of G1 cars. And what is it about them that made them jump out so brightly in my mind? um, when you consider the cartoon depiction that was much more flat, right? They tended to just color their beaks, their faces in as yellow, but the toys had much more depth, right? There was multiple chrome colors, both silver and gold. They had these layers of clear plastic. So today I want to look closely at what gives it such depth. It's something you've looked at for decades, but I bet you've never actually seen up close. So we'll start with a quick tour of the features before we open him up. Of course, he's got these red triceratops horns, and they're actually affixed in a unique way, and I'll show you how that's done. There's also his dino mouth, which participates in the transformation, and then you've got the Diaclone pilot's cockpit in the chest. Now, to open them up, we just need to remove a screw from the back wall of that cockpit. The center screw is the one that attaches the crest and the face. That's the main one that we need to remove. The one down there at the bottom near the waist is what connects to the wings of Slag. You don't technically have to remove those, but it's actually a lot easier if you just do it to get them out of the way. And now we're removing the face, and you see what it is that makes Slag and the other Dinobots look the way they look. That incredible depth and shininess comes from the layers of color and texture. You've got this face or brain, whichever way you want to interpret it, in gold chrome paint with lots of little details along the sides, lots of just geometric shapes to catch light. But because it's covered up by that clear plastic face, it's sort of obscured, it's diffused, and you get those kind of levels of, I don't know, refraction or whatever you might call it. I think they're really amazing. There aren't a lot of Transformers that look like this. It gives the Dinobots a really unique effect. And looking at the crest and the clear plastic face covering, we can actually flip it over to look at how the horns are attached, which is kind of an interesting engineering design. So there's this chrome collar, which provides the swiveling effect, but then the ends of the horns themselves are actually melted into place. That's what keeps them in. So if you pull one out and you try to stick it back in, there's nothing there that's going to hold it. So we'll put them back together now, and we'll start by putting the chrome crest and clear face covering back on, and that'll be followed by the wings. And you can see now why it's helpful to get the wings out of the way. It's not absolutely essential, but they've always been in there pretty tight. They tend to scrape against the sides of the chrome crest, which is why a lot of Slags you'll see have these worn black spots on the edges of the chrome. Even during normal transformation, you have to flex the plastic a little bit to get those wings moving. So, what makes this toy great? To me, it's the brilliant shine and the depth of reflections coming from these layers of material. There's a clear plastic shell over the face and then a gold chrome painted head underneath. You've got the silver chrome crest, more gold chrome accents, and then this gunmetal gray plastic that really helps this toy and the Dinobots in general stand out from the rest of the line, even though the rest of the line was very impressive in its own right. So, this has been right in front of your eyes for decades, but maybe today was the first time you saw it clearly. But this is all just my opinion. I hope you'll stick around after the video. I've actually got some special guests who are going to weigh in with their point of view, and I think you'll find their observations to be astute. If you like this sort of thing, take a look at the other videos on the channel. We talk about history and engineering design details, also repair techniques. Leave me a note in the comments, say hi, and I hope you found this information useful. And we'll see you next time.
Dad took off the head. Is that his brain? You think that's his
think
brain?
it's like a skull, and then inside the skull is the brain.
It's like those Egyptian fancy eggs or dinosaur eggs that are like painted gold.
Oh yeah, kind of like that.
Since when could Transformers have guts and
Yeah,
organs?
it's usually like metal or plastic.
Good question.
That's really like a gut.
Yeah, I mean, it is a dinosaur. Dinosaurs had guts. They were
Yeah,
alive.
but Transformers are
consumed
made
each
of
other.
metal and plastic, not guts.
have metal guts.
Yeah.
Robot wouldn't
guess.
have guts.
Because
It would just be made of wires.
yeah, it's just wires, metal, and plastic.
Oh, this is the head. It's like its skull, cover part.
Yeah, that's like the skin,
Imagine someone took off your scalp in the middle
like
of the
your
night.
face skin. That would be so weird.
Is that what I did to Slag?
Yeah.
Kinda, yeah.